the Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Pro Extra is the Home Depot's free loyalty program built for pros. Members earn perks just for shopping, like new Pro Extra dollars or tool rental perks. Get exclusive benefits every day that save time and money. And here's an extra, $20 off your next in-store purchase of $200 or more, just for signing up. Want to save? Join Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Visit the Pro Desk in-store at homedepot.com/Pro Extra for details.
You can go from a hobby in your free time to a passion you do full-time. From a film lover to a filmmaker.
Action.
At Fairleigh Dickinson University, go for what you love. Visit fdu.edu today.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
It's episode 302. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron. And another quarantined episode, huh? How many have we done? How long has it been?
Time has no meaning anymore.
Did you set any goal, like, not goals, like, not like you wanted to accomplish something, but just, was there a specific something that you were like, okay, if I'm going to be stuck at home, I can do this. I can get this done. I can finally
grow a full beard.
That was it?
I've not been able to grow a full beard for 15 years due to my job.
So, like, you can't, your job won't let you sport like any kind of beard, or is it just the full beard? Like, you can't go full mountain man.
Our facial hair policy is out of the 1970s. A trim mustache or nothing.
That's all you can have is a mustache?
Food based is.
You can look like a regular guy or a porno star, and that's it.
But it is a restaurant. We do serve food, so I kind of get it.
Yeah.
You know, now they do understand there are religious things. So I mean, there are beard nets for things like that. You know, but
right. If you have like an Indian dude or something that like, or Jewish possibly, right? That would want to grow a full beard. As part of that, just be like what a normal man does.
Now, if I wanted to work the system, like, I could come back and be like, hey, I converted to Muslim while we're away, and I have to have a beard.
Right.
Because Muhammad said so.
That's right.
Shit they could do about it.
Yeah, I guess it's the Muslims that are big on the beards, huh?
Yes. And then, there wouldn't be shit they could do about it, but I'm not that guy. So, but yeah, full beard. We're 8 weeks in, starting to look very Tom Hanks-ish from Castaway. even with trimming it up, sculpting it up.
I was going to ask, like, so are you shaping it, or you just want to see what it does on its own?
Oh, I've been shaping it.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, we're to the point where we're looking bushy, even just with shaping it. And Mandy got me some beard balm for my birthday and a brush. But still,
you got some beard balm for your birthday.
Yeah. But still, it's bushy. We're getting there.
So you can do like kind of the more aggressive beard type these days, I think, would be where you kind of shape it so it all goes down.
Yes.
Right? You could do one of those. And then you got to put like a little braid on the bottom part of it.
Oh no, right? I'm not going like, no, I'm still trying to be presentable.
All right. I was just saying, if you wanted to scare your family or something.
Right. You want to go the full Ted Kaczynski.
First day back to work, you got to do a mustache at least once. Just one day of the mustache. Just to see how it feels. Sport a mustache for a day.
I want to try to see, like, we should have a beard off. Like, we have a departmental beard off. Like, we get together, everyone compares their beards before we all got to shave them.
Right. Yeah, you have a little contest.
Yeah. So I grew a beard. What about you? What were your quarantine goals?
I guess like organizing my vinyl collection and figuring out what the fuck I'm going to do with it. I've been porting around this collection of vinyl that's almost like 2,000 records deep, and I haven't even had a record player for years now.
You should find
I just can't get. Well, I mean, I ordered a phono preamp, and I picked up an old turntable. I didn't want to spend a lot on it because I was like, I just want to be able to just listen to it and use these records and then figure out from there, like, is this something that I'm still fully into, or am I just porting these around because I want something to look cool in a room? If that's the case, they're fucking heavy.
Sell that shit to some hipsters. Get some hipsters to give you some money for them.
Right. I mean, I could probably sell it by the pound and, make a little bit of money off of it. It's not like I have some super rare or even well-maintained collection. It's a collection of records that are well loved and got played a lot. A lot of these records did.
This record collection was not for show.
No. It got taken out to house parties and warehouses, and
it played some shows.
And what's that?
I said
played some shows.
Yeah, it was not for show. It played some shows.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some of my records I got to play at some pretty cool clubs too. But yeah, some of the records aren't in the right sleeves. Some just get mixed up, especially the more techno stuff that I'm ripping through. If I'm actually DJing, stuff gets mixed up. And yeah, like I said, I could probably go through and clean it up and get a decent price and sell them off one, but then you get into shipping, and then shit arrives like damaged, or they say that you misrepresented it, and I'm like, that's like a full-time job.
As is. You say as is, motherfucker. That's what you agree to. But it does sound like you.
But that's like selling it by bulk. Like, you might as well just sell off a bulk collection then, because you're selling it as is, and you're going to be selling them for like 50 cents.
Yeah. I mean, it just sounds like to me, too, you've kind of got to a point, you're in your early to mid 40s, and you're just kind of looking at it going, all right, well, what are we doing here? At this point, we're just taking up space.
Well, right. I mean, the question was, what are we doing here? But I wasn't fully on the just taking up space. Like, I'm going to have to enjoy it a little bit, even if it's just to say goodbye to it, right? So I picked up a phono preamp that took forever to get here from Amazon, but finally came. And, I didn't buy anything expensive. It was like less than $20 for this preamp. And just so that I could hook everything up and just go through and listen to it and make decisions, not just dash it off and go, I don't even listen to these, I'll just get rid of them, right? And then miss it. Mm-hmm. Every instrument that I've ever sold, I still remember. And I think about them sometimes, and I go, God, I wish I still had that guitar.
Wow.
Why did I ever get rid of that? And it's not like I ever got a lot of money for it either. Or it's just like, I haven't played this in a minute, and let's sell this so I can get something else. And so yeah, anyway, I've been going through my record collection, listening to some stuff, and finding out, which I was afraid this was going to happen, but I really don't want to get rid of anything. I thought that I could weed through it and go, I bet I could get rid of half of this stuff and have a nice collection of stuff that I would listen to consistently. But the stuff that I'm finding that I would get rid of is like the absolute worthless shit. Like the Herb Alpert albums that I bought, from the flea market, or, some weird promo stuff of, that people, you just get for free. They're like, people will go, oh, you have record collection? You like records? Here. I got all this shit. I'm like, I just would take anything, right?
Yeah, probably old stuff from record stores, radio stations, that kind of promo shit.
Yeah, I got the holes punched in it and everything.
Yeah.
The little notches on the side. And, not just being a DJ, but also, being I'll put in quotes, producer. I guess I made the theme for this song, for this show, so that was a song I produced.
Counts.
But that counts, yeah. But being a record producer and a DJ, I wasn't going to turn down any record because maybe it's got a nice sample on it, or sometimes even a full track that you could surprise people with. And yeah, you never heard this shit before. So yeah, it's only the absolute junk that is just worthless, that there's no reason for me to hang on to it anymore, that I'd want to get rid of. And that's only going to add up to like maybe a crate. So,
But then what do you do with this other stuff?
I continue.
You listen to it again in another 10 years?
No, I'm going to, unless something drastically changes in like a month or two of going through my vinyl. It's not like I'm trying to rush this. I'm leisurely going through it and enjoying it. Unless I really just find that, you know what, I want to hear this on digital anyway, and it's just more convenient, then yeah, maybe I will still get rid of it. But right now, I'm finding that there's stuff that I haven't listened to on vinyl in a long time, and I'm preferring the way it sounds on vinyl. There's some albums, like I was listening to An Expression of, I can't remember how the album title goes. It's a blonde redhead album, An Expression of the Inexpressible, I think is how it goes. And I've listened to this album dozens and dozens of times. It's one of my favorite albums. But listening to it on vinyl again, I was like, this is different. I mean, I'm not going to go down the road of like, it's better. And a lot of it's probably because that's how I originally listened to it. The first copy I had of this was on vinyl. And that's how I listened to it more than anything in those first couple of years that the album was out. Mm-hmm. So yeah, maybe it's a little nostalgia that's tickling my brain, but it is a different experience. And just like anything, it's not that digital is worse than analog in anything. If you're talking about digital books versus analog, or if you're talking about the way film looks versus current digital television, it's just a different experience.
Digital's way better for editing. Anyone who's got to edit.
Yes, if we're talking about the production side of it, that's kind of a whole different thing. But I'm talking just as a consumer, as enjoying a media of some sort. It's just a choice. It's not. I want to have both ultimately. I want to have the blonde redhead record so I can put it on and I can listen to it and as more of an experience, right? Because it also kind of forces you to listen more to an album than a song, and you can't put your record collection on shuffle, which is I'm guilty of listening to most of my music just on shuffle and just skipping stuff that I don't feel like listening to. So I want to have both. I mean, at some point I'm going to go, I want to hear Blonde Redhead, but I want to hear it in the car. Right?
Yeah.
So what am I going to do? Record my record onto a tape? I mean, that's what I used to do. I used to put this shit all on a tape, and then I would have it to listen in the car, but now I don't even have a tape player in the car. But I actually have to record it to a CD and convert it, and then what's the point?
Yeah, now just make a playlist. Boom. Upload it to Spotify. There it is.
And I'm such a hoarder that even, like I said, even the stuff that I've never even listened to, I can't get rid of. I found it had to have been a promo copy. I know I didn't pay money for it, but a Morrissey album that it was like from like 98 or something. By the late 90s, early 2000s, I wasn't paying attention to what Morrissey was doing. I was a fan of a lot of his earlier stuff, but he just seemed to kind of dissolve into bland pop music.
I see, that's okay. Most of us
during that period,
generally.
Yeah.
But
I think it's called maladjusted. I pulled that out and I'm like, I've never even touched the needle to. I don't think anybody's ever touched a needle to this record. That's the thing,
though. Like I'm just wired to be like, all right, I've had this for how many decades and I've never listened to it. Garbage.
Right. I mean, that would be like, I'm not going to get anything for that promo copy of a 1998 Morrissey album that never sold well and has no hit singles on it.
Yeah.
I'm. Maybe I'll find that collector out there is like, oh, I've been looking for this to complete my collection. I'll give you £5 for it. Like at the most. But so I might as well just chuck the thing in the garbage. But then I'm like, I can't just chuck it in the garbage.
Yeah.
Like, what if one day I'm sitting around and I've listened to every record in this collection. I've never even listened to this Morrissey album. And then it turns out, I'm 70 years old listening to Morrissey going, you know what? He wasn't so bad in his later years, even if he was a racist fuck.
Yeah. Oh, I don't care that he's been dead for 25 years.
Right.
I'm not sure the math on that checks out.
So the other thing that I like about and why I want to keep my vinyl around and get more into listening to the records, because, like I said, it's more of an album experience. You know, you're going to listen to a whole side at least, usually, and it also kind of pushes you a little bit more into active listening instead of having music as something that goes on in the background while I do something else. Clean, you know, do work, read a book. You know, I'm putting the record on, I'm looking at the artwork, and I'm going, oh yeah, I forgot this person played on it. And what else did he do? And oh, this was produced by this person who also did this band. And then I start digging, and then I start learning even more about music. So it's even more active than just actively listening to the music, but actively, you know, expanding my knowledge of music.
Put on a record, that's work.
Yeah.
You gotta really want to listen to it. I'm lazy now. I'm now trained to open up an app, search, press what I want to hear, instant gratification.
Yeah, and that's still how I listen to most music. Sorry, I got a burp like trapped in me.
Remember when you had to like look through your CD book and actually pick out what you wanted to listen to?
It's hell.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, if Netflix didn't put so much crap on their platform, I would wish that they had just a random button where I could select a random show.
That would be awesome.
I always say I hated going to the video. I mean, I loved going to the video store because I loved movies, but I hated the process of trying to figure out what I wanted to watch and then add another person or two to that equation. Forget about it.
You're telling me that the functionality doesn't exist in Netflix to where it could tell what you like to watch, to where you just you hit a random button, it goes here, and it just plays something. And like it'll know you like it.
Netflix has dumped millions of dollars into its algorithm to figure out what it wants to suggest to users based on their previous viewing.
Just show it. Just do it.
But
don't give us a choice anymore, Netflix.
But I'm not saying that. I'm not saying have an algorithm, because when I hit shuffle on my music collection through iTunes or whatever, that's not an algorithm. I mean, it is an algorithm, but it's an algorithm meant to reproduce randomness. You know, you can't actually have true randomness. And if you've ever used shuffle on a program like that, you'll find that if you do it often enough, you will come up with the same exact playlist.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It'll play the same songs in the same order, and you're like, this is weird. Like, I'm having a deja vu of like a year ago.
No, trust me, it did back, you know, when I used to actually travel all the time. And
yeah.
No, trust me, I would be, there were certain artists, I'm a fan of Google Music and their radio feature, because you can basically you could shuffle anything. You could shuffle an album, an artist, a song.
Yeah.
Like, there's just certain times like, okay, when I pick this artist, I'm going to hear these artists, you know, and I'm going to hear this mix of songs.
That's different. So you're talking about the algorithm again, and I'm not talking, there's a big difference. I don't want an algorithm. I don't want Google or Netflix to go, I figured out what this guy wants. I just want random. I just want shuffle, play whatever is in there. It's just the reason I said that I would want it from Netflix if they didn't have so much crap on there is because you'd be skipping over everything in Netflix. They just drown their platform with mediocre television.
No, Google Music does have what it's called I'm Feeling Lucky, and it does shuffle your entire library. You have to scroll all the way to the bottom to get it. It's like the very last thing.
Well, no, if you have all of your music uploaded to Google Play, then as long as you got to go to this where it organizes everything by song, and then you can shuffle all, and it'll play randomize your whole collection. Or again, as close as you can get to random.
Yeah.
Turns out to actually generate random numbers takes a lot of processing power to get a true random number.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Professional painters know waiting between coats for trim, doors, and cabinets to dry is time out of your day and money out of your pocket. Bare Premium Cabinet and Trim Enamel from the Home Depot lets you finish faster. With excellent flow and leveling, it dries to the touch in 1 hour, and less dry time means less downtime. Bare Premium Cabinet and Trim Enamel, just $39.98 a gallon, and that's before the Pro Extra discount. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Available in-store and online.
Imagine the greatest collection of real-life entertainment on the planet, all in one place. Go ahead. Dare to stream with Discovery Plus. Stream now. Stream what you love.
Of all the streaming services out there, only one is different. Discovery Plus. It's the greatest collection of real-life entertainment on the planet. 55,000 episodes of food, love, true crime, home, from networks like TLC, HGTV, and tons more. Yes! With stars like Chip and Jo, an exclusive new series from 90 Day Fiancé, all in one place. Bam! Discovery Plus. Stream now. Stream what you love.
ChristopherMedia.net.
The Weedsman Podcast.
So, part of my digging into music, and I don't even remember how I got here. Oh, yeah, I do. I remember. I was listening to the band Tennis, and they were interviewed in a tape-op interview recently, and they were going on and on about Joe Meek. God damn it. My voice just craps out in the middle of it. Let me start over again. So one of the rabbit holes that I went down, and this actually wasn't even from listening to my record collection. It was listening to a podcast interview with the band Tennis on the Tape Op podcast. And they were going on about Joe Meek. Now, are you familiar with the name Joe Meek?
Hold on. I'm familiar with neither of the names you just said, the band nor this
well,
Joe Meek gentleman.
That's just how I got there. We're not talking about Tennis. That's just how I got there. Joe Meek, though, you've never heard the name?
No. I've heard Meek Mill. Isn't he a rapper?
Nope. You got me. I guess I would have to assume so. What about the Meekwalizer?
No.
Yeah. Joe Meek's a strange one. So Joe Meek was kind of like the British, he was like the British Phil Spector. And
with the sunglasses, I see even.
Oh yeah, he was all about the sunglasses and the guns. He liked guns. He was crazy. He liked guns. He liked sunglasses. But whereas Phil Spector, you know, he was known for his certain sound, his wall of sound.
My guess is Joe Meek is dead because his Google
Joe Meek
biography
is dead.
says Joe Meek was. So
yes, Joe Meek passed away. But I don't want to get ahead of myself in it. What do you got there?
What you gonna do, baby? It sounds like we've heard it in a million commercials.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Like, Joe Meek didn't have a lot of big hit records. So he gets on all these lists of famous record producers. And whereas if you look at, other well-known music producers, if I was to say Quincy Jones, you could name records that guy's produced, like hit records, right? Or Phil Spector, like I was saying, you know, there's definite bands and songs that you would directly connect with that. Berry Gordy, Rick Rubin, right? These are people that are like, yeah, they have hit records. They're well-known producers. They're respected producers. Joe Meek, I mean, he had some hits. He had some stuff that went to number one back in the early 60s. I don't know that it ever charted that high in America. And it was a lot of the stuff that he was doing had more of it was like the space age sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we were talking before, I think on Unregimented, we had spent a minute talking about his name is Florian from Kraftwerk, who passed away recently. And I didn't mean to come off as such, but listening back to it, I realized, wow, I sounded like such a pompous ass. Like, I didn't want to give him any credit, and I was like, oh, I'm not really that big of a fan. I mean, honestly, I want to give Kraftwerk all the credit they deserve. And they were ones to really push electronic music into a whole new frontier of pop music, and actually, you know, say, hey, this isn't just for your weird Doctor Who episodes. You know, these things actually make cool noises that you can make whole songs with, and they're fun. Mm-hmm. But there's people who predated Kraftwerk, obviously, and Joe Meek is one of those essential key figures of, I don't know that you get to Kraftwerk or beyond without Joe Meek.
Well, reading his bio, yeah. It says he's one of the first people to use the studio as an instrument.
Absolutely. So that's like, for me, that's an epicenter for electronic music right there.
Oh, yeah.
Just the concept of studio as an instrument is essential to electronic music.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And
he was, so in the BBC, they have their whatever they call it, the radiophonic workshop. And this is where they were doing experiments with electronic instruments and tone generators and tape loops and different types of producing and recording techniques. And they were coming up with these crazy stuff. And it would be used for like a little bumper in between news programs, You'd have a doot, 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 a little thing that would run, and just to tell you, hey, we're switching stories or something like that. Or some weird background music for an educational film, something with a science bent to it. Or the Doctor Who episodes, the themes. They wanted very futuristic music. So, they've got early synthesizers running them through spring reverbs and recording them on tape loops and all this. And Joe Meek was one of the guys who was like, well, this isn't just sound effect stuff. This is music, and we can use this. And if you want a good example, what are we listening to right now?
That's Joe Meek and the Blue Men.
Okay.
I hear a new world.
So yeah, in a lot of those recordings, you can hear those spacier sounds, those elements coming in. He has much like Phil Spector had his sound, Joe Meek had his sound. But I think the one that illustrates it probably the best, and this is an instrumental track. I'm going to send you a link.
All right.
So you can put this one up. This is a song that was written and produced by Joe Meek, performed by the Tornadoes, called Telstar. You might recognize it.
I think I've heard it. Yeah.
This would probably be the most recognizable song that he's involved with. And again, we're talking about early influence on electronic music. It's not just that he's using some electronic elements on here and some early they were like electronic organs, early organs, really. I don't think you would call them synthesizers at that point, but all the elements of the rhythm in there too, the kind of pulsing drums that go throughout the track. Yeah, it even starts off with just some weird kind of feedbacky noises. I guess he also got sued off of this, too. He didn't see any of the proceeds from this because it was all tied up in court until after he died.
Well, yeah, I don't think this is his. I think this is a cover. Maybe
he wrote this song.
Oh, and people covered it.
I think people did cover it, yes, but there was a French film that they said that he stole a melody line from. And it does kind of have the grandiose, like, 60s soundtrack type of feel to it. So, it's a little hokey, right? It sounds like the pop music of the 60s and a lot of its arrangement. It's got a little bit of that surfy sound to it.
But he was doing things with production. that was groundbreaking for when it came out. I understand what you're saying.
Imagine hearing that in what, like 62, 61? Yes. Like that would sound like it was beamed down from outer space.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, what is making all these noises? How is he? You've never heard a song recorded like that before.
No, because
even just pushing the drums that far up in the mix was probably revolutionary.
Because this is the norm at the time, right? This shit.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the norm at the time, pop music wise.
Yeah, Berry Gordy's sound, man. That's what was tearing up the charts. And he had it, you know.
No, but it's reading his bio. Yeah, he's doing things with verb, with delay, with like you're saying, precursors to synthesizers.
Yeah, and he was also crazy, unfortunately. You know, that's why I call him the British what's his name? Phil Spector. Because there was a story about him holding a gun to the what was the guy who drummed for Jimi Hendrix's band? Mitch Mitchell.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to remember if it was Mitch or Noel who played the drums.
Yeah, I think it was Mitch Mitchell. And in order to inspire a good performance from him, he held a gun to his head the whole time that he played.
I mean, are you going for tentative?
Right.
I want a real anxious vibe to this track. I'm put a gun to your head. Don't fuck up.
I bet he didn't drop a beat.
Right? One of the most precise live drum takes ever.
Yeah. I was trying to find what song or if that take ever made it to a record, and if it was, a possibility to listen to it and evaluate. Does having a gun to your head make a difference in your performance? I mean, I was listening to No Dogs in Space, which is one of my new favorite podcasts where they follow the history of punk music. They just wrapped up their 4th episode on the Ramones. And the Ramones, as you know, probably got the opportunity to record with Phil Spector, somebody that they really looked up to. And as you can imagine, we know the Ramones are crazy. We know Phil Spector is crazy. How could that ever work? I mean, they managed to make some decent sounding music, although I'm not really that big of a fan of that record, but it's good. It's definitely unique. But yeah, you want to talk crazy. I mean, Joe Meek I don't know if he was diagnosed as schizophrenic at the time, and I'm not even sure we had the term bipolar, but posthumously, that's what he's been evaluated as, if that's even possible. And he, like I said, he liked guns as well. I guess he got a shotgun from one of his bandmates and held on to that, and turned out one day he just kind of lost his shit and decided that he shot his landlord and then himself. I don't know why, not just himself, but, mental illness.
You just wonder what he was on, too, because of how they treated mental illness back in the day.
What he was on and how he was homosexual, and at a time where it was still a prosecutable offense in England.
Oh, he's gay, he's bipolar.
Yeah, he was paranoid all the time.
No wonder he invented electronic music.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit. Crazy gay people and techno, man, they go together.
Yeah. You do crazy gay people, we're going to need music in the future. Yeah. So he invented electronic music.
Hey, speaking of musical geniuses, Brian May was recently hospitalized for...
The corona?
No.
Oh.
For tearing his butt muscles to shreds while gardening.
Huh?
That's what he says. He says, in a moment of over-enthusiastic gardening.
Man, there's a whole skit on Scrubs about this, where they talk about everyone who comes in with something up their ass just as they fell on it.
I don't think that's what this was. I mean, he says his butt muscles, not his butthole.
What did you just doing a lot of crouching, or is this?
I guess.
How does this happen? He pulled his butt?
He posted on Instagram recently, I managed to rip my gluteus maximus to shreds in a moment of over-enthusiastic gardening. I won't be able to walk for a while or sleep without a lot of assistance because the pain is so relentless. So, folks, I need to go dark for a while, getting some complete rest at home. Please don't send me sympathy. I just need some healing silence for a while.
I hurt my ass.
Yeah, he's basically saying,
you're gonna chill for a minute.
My ass is fucked up, and I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Listen,
so just leave me alone.
I'm in a band called Queen, and I hurt my ass. The comedy writes itself. I'll be over here for a while. Thank God Freddie is not alive.
Yeah, well, I mean...
The jokes he would be making. Wow. Yeah, entertaining quarantine for him.
It sounds horrible. Although I still don't really get it. But I guess he had to just been squatting, right? He was squatting, and he accidentally sat down on the rake.
Right.
Yep. How the handle ended up there, I don't know.
Yeah. He's an old man. What's he doing gardening? And he's rich. Can't hire somebody? At this point, it's got to be a hobby, right? He's rich and he's old. Something he's doing as a hobby.
Wait a minute, what else would it be?
Yeah.
If it wasn't a hobby,
maybe he loves to grow his own food. Maybe he's a doomsday prepper. We don't know. Maybe he's like, once I get enough food, I'm heading underground before the virus kills us all.
He doesn't look so bad. Looks like he's aged well. How old is he right now?
I think he's in his early 70s. He is 97. No, he's 72.
Well, he looks good for 72.
Still weirds me out that his hair is that color, but I guess at 72 it's allowed to be that color.
Well,
in fact, he also still has it.
Yeah, I was looking at it too. It's quite blonde, right? But it doesn't. I mean, I guess it is totally possible that he's gone gray and that's just a dye job, but it doesn't look like it.
No, he
like
was a
Trump's looks like it.
Yeah, he was a brunette when that wasn't gray, so that's his hair too. And it's also his hair's his hair's just so odd.
That's right.
His hair's just so odd. That is his hair. Like that has to be his real hair. Like he's that's Sideshow Bob hair.
Yeah.
Like there is no wig.
Yeah, that's got to be all natural.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot that he used to be rather dark brunette.
Yeah.
And he's just faded to blonde. Like he didn't go gray.
Well, no, I mean the picture I'm looking at him on.
Does it look really gray?
On his Google card, he's straight up gray.
All right, maybe it's just the photo that I'm looking at.
He is a silver fox in this Google card.
Okay.
And that's jarring to me. But then again, I'm just used to all the footage of him from the 70s when he was in his fucking 20s. But you got a singer, songwriter, producer, and astrophysicist. So if the music,
is wicked smart.
If the music didn't work out, he was going to do all right.
Apparently, we should be using video right now.
Why?
Because Growth Op has a story. 3 reasons why you should smoke weed with your friends online.
I just need one.
Right.
Smoke weed.
Yep. I have friends and I smoke weed. Chances are, if I'm talking to them online, I'm going to be smoking weed.
Yeah. So what are these reasons why? What are the 3 reasons why, Growth Op?
The 3 reasons why, first reason they list, it'll make you feel closer to them. Like, it feels like you're in the room, man.
Okay. Next.
Dude, are we bonding right now?
Yes.
I don't know what that means. It feels like so if you've never smoked weed with friends through video chat, and why would you have? This is the perfect occasion. The video call will make you feel closer to your friends, and once the initial awkwardness passes, you'll feel close to normal, like you're actually splitting a joint with friends and not stuck at home in a pandemic. Yeah, I don't get that. Closer to your friends than what? It'll make you feel closer to them than not talking to them at all? Yes. Than talking to them on the phone? Or what? Having a video chat and not smoking weed? Or smoking weed by yourself? I don't understand what the alternative that they're saying would be worse.
Yeah.
Or make you feel more distant from your friends. Yes, contacting your friends will make you feel closer to your friends. That is true.
Wait. There you go.
I don't think the weed is really applying in this situation. I mean, if you and your friend both enjoy weed, then yeah, you're gonna smoke some weed while you talk.
What is the
unless they're saying you should actually like mime it, right? Like, I'm gonna pass it to you now, and you hold it up to the camera.
Oh my! If they suggest that,
no. All right, reason number 2: it'll provide a nice alternative from regular Zoom appointments. What?
Yeah, right. Like no, like when you.
So what? You have a couple work meetings over Zoom, and then you're like, "Man, I'm spent. I got to Zoom with my.
Yeah,
I'm going to do another Zoom. Only this time, I'm going to smoke weed with my buddies."
Yeah, why are you trying to Zoom when you don't have to Zoom? Isn't that work? It's like going to work. To me, that's like going to work to hang out. Hey man, what you going to do after work? Oh, I'm going to come to the office and hang out.
Right.
No.
All right, so that's 2 reasons down. What about the third one? It'll make it less likely for you to have a bad high.
What?
Oh, so you'll have a partner, in case you freak out.
If you still freak out on weed, this is not the podcast for you. Who still freaks out on weed anymore? Like maybe people overdose on edibles.
I guess it's possible. I mean, there's a lot of people that are trying it for, the first time, or maybe, hey, haven't done it in a while. They're reacquainting themselves with this new powerful strains of cannabis they've been hearing about.
Cannabis plus one.
They don't want to be stuck in a motel room by themselves like Maureen Dowd.
Hey, I was too. I just talked myself down. It's only weed. It's only weed.
Well, yeah, I mean, you might. It's possible to get high enough to like freak out for a second, I think, but then you're just like, oh yeah, I'm high.
Yeah, you're just like, oh wait, this is weed. This isn't like anything that could harm you.
Whatever the fuck is going on right now, this has never lasted more than a couple hours max, so I'll be all right.
Well, too, and it's weed. You realize it's all like it's all anxiety that's just created by you. It's not like mushrooms or acid or anything crazy where it's like, no, that's a heavy chemical and have fun. Like, no, it's weed. Most of it, it's all just anxiety created by you.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine, everybody.
Well, I would say if you're using the quarantine as an opportunity to say, let's try some weed or some edibles or something like that, then yeah, have a Zoom pal ready. Have somebody that's near their phone or that they can hang out with you remotely so that you're not just stuck with your own thoughts. I think that's good advice. But in general, no. I'm not. It's not like I'm going to sit down with my vape and go, I should call Chris just in case.
Well, keep you from having a bad high. You don't have a TV? That's how you don't have a bad high? Put on something where it can distract your mind and you're done.
Put on The Office. Watch one episode of The Office, and if you're not better, then it's probably not the cannabis.
Exactly. If you can't laugh at Michael Scott burning his foot on a George Foreman grill, there's something else in your weed.
It's about, that's why he's so great. What's his name that plays Michael Scott?
Steve Carell.
Thank you. Because he can do the physical comedy just as well as he does everything else, because it's both funny watching him burn his foot and funny watching him try and explain the story to his office about how he burnt his foot.
The one where I always laugh out loud every time, I've seen it a million times, is when Dwight starts the fire and he throws the projector out the window and just shouts help because they can't get out.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Do it yourself doesn't have to mean all by yourself. Help is as close as HomeDepot.com/workshops now with free DIY live stream workshops. Live hands-on courses from real expert associates. Learn how to install floor tile, create a tile backsplash, replace a thermostat, and more. All from the best seat in the house, yours. To register, go to HomeDepot.com/workshops. Only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Of all the streaming services out there, only one is different. Discovery Plus. It's the greatest collection of real-life entertainment on the planet. 55,000 episodes of food, love, true crime, home, from networks like TLC, HGTV, and tons more. Yes! With stars like Chip and Jo, an exclusive new series from 90 Day Fiancé, all in one place. Bam! Discovery Plus. Stream now. Stream what you love.
Imagine the greatest collection of real-life entertainment on the planet, all in one place. Go ahead. Dare to stream with Discovery Plus. 55,000 episodes from networks like TLC, HGTV, Food Network, and more. If you can dream it, you can stream it. See what I did there? Discovery Plus. Stream now. Stream what you love.
ChristopherMedia.net.
The Weedsman Podcast.
Did you say they finally have a Space Force trailer? Have you seen it?
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
And he essentially looks like he's playing like it's all a version of the same character now, right? Whatever. That's how he makes his money. You know, which if you really think about it, when they casted him as Maxwell Smart, I was like, perfect. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally.
He's Don Adams 2.0. He's just way more successful.
Yeah. Less creepy.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the trailer. It's just he looks his age too, which is a bummer. But you know, we're not exactly in
I'm just going to be
thinking either.
I'm going to be imagining him as Mike Pence in this role. Did you see there is video footage of Mike Pence delivering personal protection equipment to a hospital. And they've got these boxes. And it's so ridiculous. It's like, you know, when you watch a movie or a TV show and somebody's carrying a box and you're like, that there's obviously nothing in that box. Like, the box is huge and it's written on the side, books. And the person's like, carrying it like it's nothing. They toss it down on the counter. Like it was one of those. He had the dolly, but the back wheels of the dolly were up off the ground because these boxes were empty. And he goes back to the truck to get another load, and the people that are assisting him with this say, "Oh, those boxes are all empty." And we hear all this because he was mic'd up, and I guess Mike Pence forgot that he had his microphone on. So he goes, "Can I take these boxes in?" And they go, "Oh, those boxes are empty." And he's like, "Yeah, I know, for the cameras." And then he takes more empty boxes and drops them off.
So he basically, it's a strong.
Like, that's such a Michael Scott thing.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, if it wasn't an episode of The Office and something would happen at some point that would give him away. Oops.
Are you sharing the screen?
I didn't mean to.
No, I want you to.
No, I didn't. I shared my screen. You need to share your screen. I didn't know Skype had screen sharing.
Oh yeah. You got it?
Yep.
All right. So there's it.
Oh, dude, that dude's in it.
Yeah.
He plays such a great asshole. I'm not hearing any of this.
Oh, you can't? That's good because it's loud as fuck on my end.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not hearing like anything at all. I can hear you fine.
Yep, Malkovich is in it.
I'll pretend to react to. Oh my God! Oh, dude, the
Jimmy O. Yang.
Yang.
Jane Lynch is in it.
Isn't that the dude from The Wire?
I think so.
Shit, that dude.
Mm-hmm. There's an AOC type character.
Oh, nice.
I've watched this trailer. Like now, he's busting into Kokomo by the Beach Boys. It helps him relax.
Oh.
Like I said, it's Michael Scott X, but he knows his bread and butter. You know, he knows the type of character he's got to play.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know who's not funny, but yet still gets all the cool shit? Like all the hot chicks and all the drugs?
Who's that?
Pete Davidson.
Yeah, I don't understand why people think he's funny. Is it because of mold?
Like I don't hate him. I feel like if I knew Pete Davidson, if we grew up together or something, like he'd be my buddy. Mm-hmm. He seems like a nice dude. And I think that I would think he was funny. But if he told me I got an audition for SNL, I'd be like, you?
Yeah. Huh?
Really? All right. Like, you're funny when you get high, but you think it's really going to translate to a national audience? I think you're funny, but you're my friend. You know, he seems like that dude.
Kudos to you for scoring the audition, man.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
And then he'd tell me that he was dating Ariana Grande, and I'd just have to murder him.
Right.
No, I guess he had recently he was on Jimmy Kimmel. Or no, Jimmy Fallon's show. One of the Jimmys. Yeah, it was Jimmy Fallon. And he was talking about how he's been quarantined in his mother's basement, and he's not going out, obviously, and he's also not doing any drugs. He's not smoking weed. He's purposely like using this opportunity to dry out. And like the next day, a woman shows up at his mom's house with a huge bag of weed.
I'll suck your dick, and
like,
here's a huge bag of weed.
Hey, I'm sure that offer would have been on the table too.
Here's Ariana Grande and a big bag of weed. Well, so much for drying out.
I mean, if there's a heaven.
Was he?
That's what mine's going to be.
So does the story end and he's no longer drying out?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe he did. Who knows? I guess no reports on whether he smoked it or not. I just thought it was ridiculous. Like, this guy just gets everything. Even when he asked people not to give him stuff, they still give him stuff.
I think he pushes his 911 too much.
What, he has a Porsche?
No, his dad died 9/11, and I think he pushes it a lot.
Like, that's how he got chicks? Well, it probably is how he gets chicks.
I think that's one of the reasons you're not allowed to make fun of him, is you're supposed to feel bad for him because his dad died 9/11.
All right. Lots of people's dads die.
Yeah.
Some of them even not in 9/11.
Right? My dad died.
Yeah.
You don't see me bitching about it.
Right.
Oh, dude, he comes across as the type of like Bill Maher, right? Where he could dish it out, but when you go back at him, he can't take it.
Yeah, Maher is rather thin-skinned.
Yes. Which it always surprised me with comedians. Like, dude, like, you don't realize that's what you do, and you have to be ready to get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete seems to be in that soft-skinned category.
There is a story in Scientific American entitled "Marijuana May Not Lower Your IQ. Rigorous new studies should be able to settle the matter." So they've been looking into this, and they're finding that maybe it doesn't reduce your IQ. To which my response was, who said it did? I mean, besides stereotypes.
Huh?
Right? No, I mean, honestly, like, I don't think that smart people really believed that.
I believe it does things to your short term, but I'm not so sure about your IQ.
Memory, yeah. Memory is one thing. IQ is something else.
Correct.
I just don't remember what that is. That's something else. No, but actually making you dumber, I don't know.
Oh,
like,
some people.
Like, you're putting.
I'll admit
that it made them dumber.
Well, there were some people growing up. I was like, man, are we sure weed's the way we want to go?
Yeah, because they were already dumb.
Well, yeah, you're right. I didn't think it was going to make them dumber, but I didn't think it was going to help either.
Well, it's not a motivator.
Yeah.
So if you're not that bright and you don't have a lot of motivation, it's not the right drug for you.
Yeah. Here, you're more of a cocaine type.
Yes. Which is a roundabout way of me saying that cannabis is for smart, motivated people.
Oh, see? We just made it elitist, everybody.
Yeah.
You don't want any dumbasses over here in cannabis land. Did you ever get a cartridge that only works when it wants to?
Is it getting plugged up, or is it just not firing?
It came plugged. It came plugged up, and I've been slowly uncaking the thing, but now it's going to take forever for this because it seems to make contact when it wants to. One of those.
But so you can draw air through it. It just doesn't always fire.
Correct.
Yeah. No, I've been lucky enough. I mean, I'm surprised it hasn't happened more often with these things. But at some point, I'm going to run into a broken coil and have to like do something. Break this thing open and pour it into something else. I don't even know. Actually, I've got extra tanks for my regular vaporizer. I wonder if I could just dump it into one of those.
I was looking at new conceal style vapes online. That's what the style I have for my cartridges. The one that looked like the little version of your vape. It's called conceal style, and they have some that come with their own tanks. Like you can pull the tank out and still put a cartridge in, but some that come with their own tank. So if you run into, like at some of the dispensaries, they won't sell them in the cartridge; they'll sell the syringe full.
Oh, right.
So if you have your own, you can just think about maybe picking one of those up.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I don't know if you have to have like a specific kind of tank and coil, because I mean, this stuff is definitely a lot thicker than what I put into my regular vape.
Yeah. I saw cannabis e-juice one time, and I got it one time, and I haven't seen it since, and I even looked up the company that makes it. They don't make it anymore. The company's still around, and they still make all the bunch of shit, but they don't make the e-juice anymore.
Yeah, but it appears to be part of the problem. I mean, that's why they tried to use the vitamin E acetate to thin it out so that they could use it in a wider variety of different type of vaporizers. Mm-hmm. There's a recent survey that asked people if they'd be willing to put a bumper sticker on their car that would support, that would show their support for cannabis. Only 34% of respondents say that they would.
Fuck no.
I thought that was rather high.
Might as well just say, pull me. Oh, the bumper sticker might as well say probable cause on it.
Right. This is what, I mean, there's a reason why we don't have bumper stickers that, where people declare their love for alcohol.
Exactly. If you have
or if you see this bumper sticker, I'm probably coming from happy hour.
Yeah. If you have a bumper sticker on your truck of the Budweiser logo, I bet you get pulled over a lot.
Yeah.
Just driving around. It says, I heart meth.
I mean, and besides the idea of advertising to the authorities what your drug of choice is, there is still a stigma to cannabis, even though like the big stigma of like, the type of attitude like good people don't smoke cannabis, the Jeff Sessions type of attitude. Mm-hmm. Even beyond that, now we know there's a lot more people that are accepting it in this nation right now. But it still has a stigma, right? They might not think that, they might accept the idea that good, reasonable people enjoy this drug. But if you put a sticker on your car, then they're like, oh, that's that dude's thing.
Yeah.
That dude's a pothead.
Well, then you're also someone who puts shit on your car. You're also one of those people.
That too, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since I put a
exactly. I think bumper stickers, but too, I also think bumper stickers peaked in like the late '80s, early '90s, as far as when
actual bumper stickers. Yeah, we're on to the window decals now, which those can all burn in hell.
Yeah, I don't care how many people are in your stupid stick figure family,
right?
Or if it's just you and your stick figure pet. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, but I'm out of the putting shit on my car phase of my life as well. That's something I did in my 20s. And I think the last thing I had on my car was a band. And no one gives a shit about the music you listen to except you. It's one of the things you learn when you turn 30.
Well, your dad passed away. You don't want a rolling memorial for him?
No, I'm not Mexican. It's not racist if it's true. I just got a fucking sliver from the table.
Did you? I got one. I don't even know what it was from. I think it was a sliver of glass that I got on my foot. And it was one of those where I'd only feel it if I rolled on my foot just the right way. Ooh. So it took a while to find it.
Damn, I got it out. Damn.
You got it off of the IKEA, the desk?
Yeah.
How'd you get a sliver? That's all. It's all laminate.
Some of the laminate's starting to flake over here.
Oh, geez.
That's what it was.
Well, hey, it's IKEA. I think we got our money's worth so far.
Right. It's an IKEA countertop.
Did you hear that they're clamping down on the caregiver program here in Michigan?
What's that mean?
Well, if you're not familiar with it, this is one of the things that has given Michigan the reputation of having a very loosey-goosey medical marijuana system, because the caregiver system, and a lot of people use it in the way it was intended to, which is a person gets a license to grow 5 or 10 plants or within some limit, and that person has the right to legally sell to a certain number of patients as well. But now that we're getting into full recreational adult use cannabis, they're starting to clamp down on that, and now saying that local governments get the ultimate say on whether you can of how much you can grow at home. Because what was happening was a lot of these caregivers were combining their forces and getting these collectives going, and then they'd have they'd rent out an actual warehouse space and grow dozens and dozens of plants.
And sell to dispensaries?
I'm unclear. I mean, I think ultimately a lot of that was going to the black market. The caregiver program was used. I mean, a lot of people used it as a shield for their own illegal operations. So I think that's the big reason why they're clamping down on it. So it doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to grow your own pot as a citizen. It just means that you can only grow it. It has to be either in your home or in a attached garage.
Well, 12 plants can give you a QP every harvest.
Yeah. But what they don't want is I'm going to build an extra shed on my property just to grow marijuana.
It's my weed shed.
The intent is that you're growing for either your own personal use, or you're a caregiver that distributes to, I think it's 5 patients that you're allowed to have. Or not patients, because you're not a doctor, but however they phrase it.
But what if I got shit in my basement, state of Michigan, huh? What if I want to build a little
No, your basement counts.
No, I said, what if I got shit in my basement and I want to build a shed in my backyard?
It's got to be attached. Passed a zoning ordinance restricting home growing operations to homes and attached garages. So
there you go. Your homegrown's got to be in your home.
Yeah. So this came from a case in Kent County in Michigan. So Kent County said no more outdoor grows in your shed. It has to be in your home or attached garage. And they were sued for that policy because they're saying that goes against the state laws. And that case went all the way to the Michigan Supreme Court, which upheld the decision from Kent County and said, nope, you got to be either in your home or attached to your home.
They said homegrown. It's in the name. It's funny. I get the cartridge to work on my mod, but I can't get it to work on this. I don't know. Whatevs. I'm smoking it, right?
Oh, well, dude, it's probably the connection then. So, did you check the actual connector and make sure that you don't got any gunk on your battery?
Yes, yeah, everything's been swabbed with alcohol today.
Okay. It's still possible that it's making if it's just barely touching, then that would make sense that it would only fire every once in a while. But yeah, if it's firing sometimes and not others, the coil either makes a complete connection or it doesn't. So once the coil goes, it would be very, very rare for it to still have enough connection to be partial. It's got to be something in the way that it's either threaded or something that's interrupting the contact between the cartridge and the battery.
So I got a bad C-cell. It's okay. This thing's I got a quarter of it left anyway. It's almost toast.
A bad C-cell?
These things are called, these little, these cartridges. That's what they're called. They're called C-cell cartridges. I don't know why.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The cartridge that they put the cannabis stuff in. With the 510 thread.
Yes.
All right. I suppose we can wrap it up then.
All right.
Tonight.
So, thanks, everybody, for listening. Hit us up on Twitter, @theWeisman420. Instagram, tag us. We'll feature you at the Weisman Podcast. Weisman Podcast at ChristopherMedia.net. That is the email address. Go to ChristopherMedia.net, hit the Amazon banner, you help. It'll help us out. It won't cost you any extra money. And then while you're ordering everything online, like we're all going to do now until the end of time, you can help us out. Don't take any extra money out of your pocket, and everybody's happy. Forgetting how to talk. I'm high, so it's time to end.
Do you need a buddy? Hey, I'm here for you.
Right, let's do a Zoom.
Listen, just what's your favorite animal?
I can't even think of a smart-ass answer. Spotify is where we're at. Spreaker.com, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, Stitcher, ChristopherMedia.net. Anywhere you can listen to a podcast, rate us, review us. We would appreciate it. And stay high.
Stay high. Hey, how did...
As a professional painter, you know your customers want a flat finish, but don't want to pay the price of fighting dirt, grime, and scuffs. Use new Bare Ultra Scuff Defense from the Home Depot for a beautiful flat finish plus stain and scuff defense. And that price starts at just $29.60 a gallon, and that's before the Pro Extra discount. A flat paint that's too tough to scuff. Bare Ultra Scuff Defense, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Available online and in select stores.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.